Because all of the disasters and all of the problems that we're experiencing on this earth, and literally all of them: overpopulation, people starving to death by the millions, natural disasters that are becoming more numerous and more severe, economic collapse, etc. Due to the fact that all of those things are entirely caused, or are caused, by human activity, or by us extracting fossil fuels from the earth and burning them in order to maintain our technological way of life. Because all of that is caused by human activity, as I stated previously, and because in the book of Revelation, God is not causing any of the plagues or any of these catastrophes that are happening, we will receive no help from God in terms of resolving any of these problems. And that fact alone is very, very, I would say it's I believe that's worse than any news headline that we could ever see on the news. I think the fact that all these disasters and calamities are the result of our activities, and all the problems are our activities, are the result of our activities. And God is not causing any of these problems. And therefore, He will not help us solve any of these issues. We will receive no divine intervention, no divine help. Is by far the worst news that there is. Because what that means is that we're going to have to deal with these problems on our own. God is going to leave us to our own devices and our own solutions to this problem. And judging by the way that people are already reacting to the global economic shutdown, which, as I said previously, is making us aware that we're running out of resources and destroying Earth's life support system. Judging by the way that they're reacting to that, or if you go by the way that people are reacting to it, if you go by all the rioting and looting and unrest that's occurring, our response to these problems and the way that we're going to confront this problem, and the way that people are going to react, is not going to be good. No one's going to have a good reaction to this, and there's not going to be a good solution to this. People are going to respond violently upon learning that we are destroying the earth that we're living on, and people are becoming aware of that. Their eyes are being open to that. That's why you're seeing rioting. That's why you. Now, I'm not saying that George Floyd's killing was not a reason for the rioting, because it was. It was a reason. However, there have been blacks that have been killed by police officers. There's been other blacks that have been killed by police officers for a very long time. And it hasn't led to this type of response on this scale or at this magnitude. Blacks have been being killed by police officers in that manner for quite some time. So that is not the only reason that for the looting and the violence and the way that people are reacting. That is only one of them. The underlying reason, the other reason, or the primary reason that people are reacting to George Floyd, to that killing in that manner, is because of the global economic shutdown, because people can't go to work. Because people are hurting financially. Because of this shutdown. And as I said, this shutdown is merely an indicator that we are running out of resources and destroying the life support system on the earth. So people are now becoming aware of that. They're becoming aware of that because they can't go to work. And with this awareness that we're destroying the earth and that we're running out of resources, people are becoming angry and violent. That's how they're responding to this. So if God is not going to help us solve overpopulation, correct the pollution or reverse the pollution in our lakes or our oceans, correct overpopulation, starvation on a mass scale, if God is not going to help us solve any of that, because if he's not going to help us solve any of that, because all of these problems were caused by us, and they're being perpetuated by us, and they're being perpetuated because of us using technologies and extracting fossil fuels, and we're continuing to do that. Because one would be unrealistic to even think that we would ever stop using electricity at this point, or that we would ever stop using technology. Because I believe what's being insinuated is that the only solution to this is for us to stop using electricity. The only way that we can be helped by God is to stop using electricity and stop driving cars. That will never occur. That will never occur. Nor would I even attempt to think that anyone would entertain the idea of us not using electricity anymore. So then what's essentially being said, what is essentially being insinuated is that God is not going to help us because all of the problems that we're having are being caused by us burning fossil fuels and extracting them and using technologies. Well, if that's the case, then that means that, I'll say it this way, and God's not going to help us because of that, based on that or on that basis. So what that implies or insinuates is that in order for all of our problems to go away, in order for overpopulation to go away, in order for a complete economic global collapse to go away, in order for the coronavirus to go away, in order for oceanic pollution to go away, and God to help us, and in order for our earth to be healed, we have to stop using electricity and stop burning fossil fuels. That's what's being implied. I would never say that to you all, to those who are listening. I would never sit here and insinuate or say or expect, even if it is the truth, I would never expect anyone to entertain the idea of us ceasing all use of modern technology. Whether that's causing all of our problems or not. But that's what I'm implying. That's what's being implied. And that's what the Bible's implying, is that we have to stop using technology in order to solve these problems. But if we had that option, or if that was going to occur, then it wouldn't be Bible prophecy that I'm speaking on. This wouldn't be prophecy. It was prophesied because God knew already that we weren't going to stop using technologies. So even though that may be the solution, which I believe it is, I believe it is. I believe the solution is for us to stop using electricity and go back to what we were doing before 2000, before we developed it or created technologies. In fact, no, I'm not even going to say I believe that. That's obvious, especially at this point. That's an obvious solution to this, but it'll never occur. So because it'll never occur, and because we will never stop using technology and electricity, we've become addicted to it, and it's too luxurious for us to stop using it. God is not going to help us solve any of the problems that we are having or experiencing. And so we're going to have to face the consequences of what we have done, and we're going to have to deal with it on our own. And the way that we're dealing with that, and the way that we're going to deal with that, is people are going to respond violently. So the more people become aware that we're running out of resources, and rendering the earth uninhabitable, the more violent people are going to become. So the way that people are becoming conscious of that, and that's why you're seeing all these. That's the primary reason, aside from unjustified killings of black males. That's the reason. That's the reason. So we're going to respond to this situation violently. People are going to become violent. And the solution that people are going to apply to this situation is going to be violent. So to be more specific and to be emphatic about what I'm saying, the circumstances that I've just described are going to lead to World War III. And that's already in progress. World War III is already in progress. The attacks on the Iranian general, the president talking about China, calling the coronavirus a Chinese virus. These are all indications that this situation of us rendering the earth inhabitable and people uninhabitable, and us running out of resources, and people becoming aware of all these things, this is the indication that it is leading to World War III. That's how we're going to respond to these problems. Is total war on a global scale. And World War III will immediately threaten. Immediate. Not World War III is an immediate threat. What I said before about us running the earth uninhabitable through pollution, that is not an immediate threat. That's going to take place over time. People responding violently to this via World War III is an immediate and imminent threat to all biological life on planet Earth. So if we enter World War III, which is what we're doing, and that's the biggest concern. When we enter, I know we're already in it. When this all culminates, it's going to literally threaten immediately, or not only threaten, it is going to immediately lead to the destruction of all biological life on Earth. Immediately. So, in other words, when I said that people are going to respond violently, that when I said that we're not going to get any help from God, and we're going to respond violently to these problems, what I was stating was that, or when I said violently, what that meant was we're literally going to respond so violently to this that we wipe out, that we nearly wipe out all biological life on Earth shortly. Within a very short amount of time. Within a much shorter amount of time than environmental pollution would. So this is the biggest concern. How people are going to respond to this awareness of our situation on this planet. I'll continue to speak about these things as time progresses.